Hi everybody, I'm Patty Ann and I'm ready to start quilting on our third week block of the week that we did prior to this video. Before I start though, I did want to tell you about something. I was using this product, as you'll recall, to mark my quilt, and I really had a hard time with this product. It would not, when I made a mistake and I tried to erase it off my quilt, I could not get it to come off of my quilt. I would spray it because it says it's, it's one of those ones that's supposed to come off with water. I'd spray it and it would disappear, and a little while later I'd look at it and it was back. And I'd spray it and it would disappear, and a little while later I'd look at it and it was back. And actually, I sprayed it numerous times, and if you could look really closely on here, you'd see that that doggone thing's back again a little bit. So I'm not going to use that anymore, at least not on white. What I've decided to use instead is another friction pen, which I do like to use. So that's the first thing I wanted to tell you, and I've just drawn out what I'm going to use my... Ooh! I put my free motion foot on. I was going to use my walking foot. Maybe I'll just free motion it. Walking foot probably be easier though. Oh well. Anyway, so that was one thing I wanted to tell you. The other thing is, for free motioning, I usually use one of those Supreme sliders, but I had mine for years and years and years, and it just got a little bit beat up, and so I got rid of it. So until I can save my money to get it again, I'm going to use this silicone spray. I've really not used this too much yet, but some of my friends said that they really like using it, so I'm going to give it a try. So you just spray it on the base here, and supposedly there's no buildup or anything else. So I'm going to give it a whirl. The silicone spray. Okay, let me put on my machingers, get rid of these duds, or one dud, and get started. Okay, notice on my quilt top that I've used those pens that I really like to use. Again, I don't like to use this spray because it seems to bother my throat a little bit, and I'm not sure it's good for us to be smelling all that stuff. But anyway, it's just my opinion. I just don't care for it. Leah Day seems to like to use the pin moors. I've never tried those. Maybe I'll give those a whirl one day. So I've already pulled up my bobbin thread, knotted it and buried it, and I'm ready to get going. What I'm doing is just following the line that I drew on here with the friction pen. And I'm not really too worried if I get off the line at all, because it is the friction pen which I'll be ironing, and it will come off. And no one will know if I've ever been on those lines perfectly or not. So I just pivot every time. And I come back down to the center. Pivot, go up again. Hopefully you can see and my hand isn't in the way. So I'm doing both of these triangles exactly the same, or pretty much exactly. Recall that on the yellow triangles, first thing I'm going to do is stitch in the ditch around them, and then I'm going to put that little motif that I had drawn. I really like free motion quilting, and I like using my walking foot too. I have a long arm, but I really enjoy feeling the fabric as I do this. I don't know, kind of, it's closer to the fabric or something. So I'm going to go all the way to the end of this one, down here, and then down this side, and then I'll do the center part. Sometimes it helps if you plan out what you're doing before you do, so you end up not having to do as much traveling. I'm going to go through the center. When I get here, got to shift and go to the point again. So it's a little bit of traveling. And to the point again, or to the next side, and then down to the very tip. just have 2 more legs of this to do. One here, and then one here, and then I'm done with this. And I'm done with this first one, and I'll go over and iron them so you can see how nice they're going to look without the friction pen on there. I think I really would have liked them though if I had used a wool batting to make it poofy. I like poofy. Okay, so that's the end of that one. I'll knot this off and bury my thread and go iron this, and I'll be right back. I've put on my walking foot, and I'm going to stitch in the ditch all the way around these 2 triangles. And when I stitch in the ditch, I really like to go slowly, especially if I'm doing this for a real project rather than just a nice sample. I could go a little bit faster than this. I do want to tell you though that there is a little trick that long armors and I suppose other ones use additionally. Should I go outside of this yellow? Oh, I changed my thread to yellow. Should I accidentally go out of the yellow onto the blue? I can get a marker that matches the blue as best as I can and just color it over a little bit just to kind of hide it so it's not quite so glaring of an error. So again, I'm going to go slowly, but maybe I normally would go really slowly, but I'll speed this up for the video. After I go around this both of these triangles once, I'm kind of going to echo it inside. One more. Okay. Just rotating each time. Okay, I'm going to stop right in the middle. Then what I'm going to have to do is just take a few stitches into this triangle straight into it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe I'll remember how many. Then I'll do the same thing on both sides. And now I've got to figure out where I want to line my presser foot up so I can try to stay even. Just start going again. When I get to the corner, I'm just going to have to guess approximately where I need to pivot. I'm going to guess there. Oh, that's pretty good. Continue on. Once again, when I get close to the point, I'll slow way down so I can kind of estimate. There. Go here. Then there'll be a strange spot right here at the end when I get back to my beginning spot. I'll just hit it. And then I'm going to go travel straight along that into this second triangle. And I did what? I think I did 4. Oh, 3, 4. Oh, that was speedy. Let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. I'll do that. Again, if I get close to the corner, I'm going to slow down. I think one more. Boop. Okay. And here. I'll just finish up this triangle and show you, take this off the machine to give you an idea of what it looks like, and then I'll continue the other ones and just show you the finished block when I'm done. And right now I'm just going to do the back stitch a few, and come forward and use my cutter. And let's see how that looks. Well, I think that turned out pretty nicely. See if I can get it for you to see. There we go. Whoops. Here it is. Okay, meet you back here shortly. Okay, I didn't end up doing as much quilting on this piece as I had decided. Let me turn this light off, see if you can see it better. There you go. As I had decided to do in my original sample. Since it's just a little piece, I figured this would be enough. I think I will bind it with this yellow, and I think that will really make it stand out pretty. The other thing I wanted to tell you today was this. Remember the other time in the video when I talked to you about the plexiglass and how you could get it? I thought of a cheaper way to do it. I like to think of the cheap seat way. Go to like, you know, a thrift store or something like that and get an old frame that has the glass in it still. Take the frame off. And oh, before you do, I kind of get this blue painter's tape out and kind of measure how big I need to make the pieces. And I cut off all the pieces that I need first off the tape so that I don't have to be playing with the glass raw edges in the beginning. There's 3 pieces. That's good enough for this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the glass, right? And just take some of this blue painter's tape, which I just got stuck on it. There we go. And put it on the side of the glass. Okay. And then just fold it around. And you can be neater than I am if you'd like. I'm just trying to do it quickly so you can get the idea. Just put it on there. Get it put on there as best you can. Take another piece for the bottom side. Again, this is just helping to keep you safe so that you don't get cut on the glass, and it's easier to see the glass and know it's there when it's on your table, instead of just having a clear piece of glass. So let's just imagine that I put this stuff all around it. Let me put on my light again. And let's say I have my quilt piece. I can put it on the table, put it under here, get my handy dandy markers that I put way over here somewhere. Get a marker and an eraser. Of course, you can just use a rag or paper towel for your eraser. And then you can just start drawing on here. Just kind of auditioning what you might like to have for your quilting. So that's just the cheap seat way to do it. Just be careful. It is glass, not the plexiglass. Make sure that you protect it and have fun.